today I'm doing a reaction video on what Mark Wahlberg eats in a day. I think it's really fun to see what health tips and tricks you can get from other people, especially people who are really focused on fitness and nutrition. I am not the food police, so this video he could be saying he eats nothing but like Twizzlers and Wahlburgers all day. Totally fine. It has no bearing on, your goodness as a person. Food cannot make you a good person or a bad person. So all this is to say, I'm not the food police, okay? And I'm not interested in being the food police, but I think it is helpful to see, can be interesting, can be helpful to pick up tips from what other people are doing. So let's take a look.
After the workout, about 45 minutes after the workout this morning, I had 5 eggs. I had 2 hard.
Wow, that's a lot of eggs. And I think he had creatine protein before that. So that's a lot of protein. That's 30 grams. Depending on what your goal is.
With just a little bit of salt and pepper on it, some Greek yogurt, and berries. Green juice.
Okay. I'm just recapping. Eggs, pork chop, salmon, yogurt, and fruit. Okay. That's a lot of protein. But he probably has different protein goals than your average non-movie star person. I hate this term clean because I think in America we have this idea of, there's a lot of like morality around the way we talk about food. Like I had a good day or I had a cheat day. And I think it actually just contributes more to the problems that we have with eating. Like food doesn't make you good or bad. You can feel like your food doesn't have a lot of nutritional value, but it's not bad. Does that make sense? I think it's just take the judgment out of it. You don't need to assign a moral component to the way you eat. But I get what people mean. It's kind of like a shorthand. Usually it means unprocessed foods and no processed carbs is usually what people mean when they say they're eating clean. Eating clean. I hate that.
And then I just had, at 2 o'clock, I had salmon sashimi, crab salad with a little cucumber, and a couple pieces of chicken breast.
You do, protein can be kind of hard on your system. So if you are somebody who is leaning towards high protein eating plan, I would run it by your doctor first, because there's definitely times when we want patients to be on the higher end for protein in terms of patients who are have overweight or obesity and are looking to build muscle and lose weight, but there's different definitions on what high protein means and what it means for you and how many grams of protein you're getting per day. So I would definitely consult your doctor first, because protein can be hard on your kidneys especially, and so you just want to make sure you're doing it safely.
As long as
Ooh, again, I hate the term cheat meal. I get what they mean, but I just don't like it as a term. I just don't think this whole idea of good, bad, cheat, I think we'd all be a lot better off if we just took the morality and the judgment out of what we eat and just didn't. It's unnecessary, totally unnecessary. Other countries, they don't have the concept of a cheat meal. Can you imagine going to Italy and be like, this is my cheat meal of pasta? No, they just figure out how to have pasta in a, healthy way. There's not cheat meal in Italy. Amazing.
cheat meal right this time. I have either some tequila and I'll have chocolate after not having anything and eating clean. And then I wonder why I don't feel good the next day.
I think also if you do this sort of really clean and then cheat, like a lot of times you swing way hard between the two pendulums. And also I don't think that's great for you either. In terms of just I think sometimes when foods are forbidden or you're cheating, they just become a lot more, like people can get into this sort of cycle where they're just eating more of them than they normally would, because it's like, oh, it's the last time I'm going to have it before my next cheat meal. Like, better get it all in now. And it's like, or you could just have like a little chocolate every day and like be okay with that. So everybody's different, and not every plan is going to work for everybody. But if you are struggling with your eating, just notice if you have this value judgment baked into how you're thinking about food. And I would encourage you to think about, like, do you need it? Because a lot of times people think they need to judge it to eat right. But that, I'm telling you right now, you don't need to do that.
Tonight I'll have a nice steak, some sea bass or halibut, something, and a vegetable.
Basically what he's saying from the gist of this is he's eating a lot of protein. I'm not sure what his protein goals are, especially if you're looking to, put on more muscle. Your protein goals are going to be different, but definitely this is something, I would run this by your doctor first. In terms of your total protein goals, make sure your kidneys look good. But he's basically eating a lot of lean protein and a lot of produce, which is excellent. He's not eating a lot of processed food. I don't think he's eating any processed food. And he's also not eating a lot of starch. And I think that's very, depends on what you like and what you want your life to look like. Some people can kind of take or leave the starch or the carbs. Produce is a carb too, but it's not a starchy carbohydrate. He's definitely going for the lean protein and whole unprocessed produce. That has a lot of nutritional value, and it's also delicious. So
I'm Mark Wahlberg, and that's what my diet looks like: boring and repetitive.
Healthy things are often boring. Like, I say this to patients all the time. You do not want to be medically exciting. It's way better to be medically boring. And the same is true for your food. So a lot of times what works for people is having many of the same breakfast, same lunch, maybe, mixing up for dinner. But that can be very helpful because it takes a lot of the decision making out of it for people. But especially if you're somebody who has a busy schedule, that might be extremely helpful for you. So thank you so much, Mark Wahlberg, for your help. Okay, thank you so much, Mark Wahlberg, who was not consulted for this video, but I think we all learned a lot. He seems to eat a lot of high quality protein, seems to eat a lot of whole unprocessed food, mostly produce. That's excellent. I wish so many people ate the amount of produce that he is eating. And if you are someone who's really leaning towards a more high protein diet, definitely just check in with your physician, because it can be a little hard on the kidneys. So you just want to make sure that your idea of high protein and their idea of high protein are linking up, and that it's going to be safe for you. So thank you so much for watching. And if you like this video, like, subscribe, do all the things, and please be well.